Let's take you back now to Sunday night and the moment that millions of us tuned in to see Lost Voice guy Lee Ridley triumph on Britain's Got Talent.
Just a heads up, there are some flashing lights in this clip.
I started off in a disabled
Thrilled for you, Lee. And welcome to the show. We should...
That is true emotion
We are so thrilled for you, Lee. And welcome to the show. We should say, actually, welcome back, because you were on with us, weren't you, in Edinburgh back in 2015, we think it was. So actually, we are taking credit for your success. Is that OK?
Only if you give me my own prime-time television show.
Fill in for Matt.
We'll have a meeting. We'll have a meeting with us upstairs. Now, what a reaction there's been, Lee, since Sunday night. And has it sunk in yet, this reaction that you've been receiving from across the world?
Definitely not.
No.
To be honest, it's all still a bit surreal.
Yeah.
The whole night was incredible, and it was an amazing feeling when I won. I was up against some great acts in the final, so it was an honor that the public voted for me. And the reaction has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And yourself with cerebral palsy, Robert White, the runner-up, he's got Asperger's, hasn't he? And the media's saying that this is a bit of a watershed moment for people with disabilities. Do you see it that way?
Not yet, no. I think there's still a long way to go. It was really good to see two people with disabilities in the final of Britain's Got Talent, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Only when we see more disabled people on television and elsewhere in public life will some of the stigma about disability be taken away. It's very important for people to see disabled people in a more positive light, so they understand that we're just like anyone else.
But funnier.
Couldn't agree more. Now, let's talk about this prize, because £250,000, Lee. Oh, my word. Have you decided what you're going to spend the money on?
I'm definitely going to get a Geordie accent for my iPad. Because I'm sick of sounding like a posh version of RoboCop.
You should get Matt to record it, that would be
Well, we're from just down the road from each other before.
Exactly.
Have you actually thought about what kind of a northern voice or a Geordie accent you'd go for?
If I did have a voice, I'd probably sound like the cool one out of Ant and Dec. Whichever one that.
And I tell you what, Lee, we've loved your slogan T-shirts, right? And they've caught on, I tell you what, because look, Dave, clean up your own mess, he's onto it. Definitely a little sideline there.
Have you thought about the T-shirt for the Queen, on that note?
I'm not sure, actually. I'll definitely be giving her one of my Lost Voice Guy Made Me Speechless T-shirts, though.
Yeah, like the sound of that.
Brilliant.
I was going to ask you something. You know, obviously, you've been, very celebrated as being a disabled person, but at school, how difficult or different was it? What were you like at school? Was it an easy ride or not so?
Because I went to a school for disabled people, I coped quite well, because we were all the same. I was also lucky to have very supportive teachers who always encouraged me to follow my dreams.
That's great.
I think that maybe children in general don't have enough support at school these days, and so that makes the situation worse for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got your mum, Janet, in the audience. Very proud, mum, Janet. Oh, Janet, I mean, this must be, in a way, such a relief, because obviously you've been through years, when Lee was a poorly baby. I mean, did you ever, in your wildest dreams, imagine where we'd be today?
No, I could never have hoped that things would turn out as well. It was really tough when Lee was young.
Yeah. And what did you think when he started doing stand-up?
Oh, I thought he was crazy. I thought this is a mad idea.
Did you? Yeah.
But regardless, we've always kind of supported him to follow his dreams, and could never have dreamt things would be this big,
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
And you do so in the most class way. I mean, you really do. You've got the technology there in front of you, Lee. Does it ever go wrong? And what do you do when it does?
Luckily, I've never had any major technical difficulties on stage. There's been a few times when my iPad has crashed, but, like everything in life, you just have to turn it off and turn it back on.
Well, that's magic. Congratulations on the big win, and we look forward to seeing you in a Royal Variety performance. Goodness me. And yeah, well, hopefully the royalties will be in the post.
15%.
We'll keep an eye out.
7.5 each.
We're chuffed for you, mate. We really are.
We are. Now it's time for another trip up the stairway to heaven with the ever angelic Giles Brandreth.